It's working. Okay.
You were ready?
Yeah.
I found a wonderful article the other day about interest on the country's national debt. And I'm going to read through this article and tell you what I'm thinking as we read through. The first thing I noticed is that it was written on February 4th, 2014. Because I like to know, is this kind of article, is it relevant to today? Is it really, really old? And this one is about 6 months old, so I would say that's pretty good. The other thing I noticed is that it was written by CNN Money. I like to know the source where my article is coming from. Is this news source credible? Or is it one of these online pages where they're making up stories for entertainment? Now, CNN Money would be a credible, serious news source, so I can take what they have to say seriously. It starts with, for the next few years, deficits are looking pretty good, but the interest owed on the country's cumulative debt, the first thing is deficit. That means how much money the government is spending every year more than they take in. And then the cumulative debt, that says how much we owe overall. So every year's deficit added together is our cumulative debt. And it says that our interest is set to nearly quadruple over the next decade. The Congressional Budget Office projects that interest will be $233 billion this year, or 1.3% of the share of the economy. Now, I'm interested in this number, $233 billion. I'm not too worried about the percentage. What they're trying to do there is put it in perspective. Some people like percentages better. I like plain dollars. By 2024, which is 10 years from now, that's 10 years, it will reach $880 billion, or 3.3% of the GDP, which is gross domestic product. That means interest will account for the lion's share of the $1.1 trillion deficit projected for that year, and will come close to what we will spend on Medicare. So that's quite a bit. It's a lot more than we are now, so what they're saying is that the interest that we're paying is going to be more in 10 years. And it's going to be on par with what we spend on Medicare today. Interest costs will jump for two reasons. The first is the improving economy. That means as a country we're making more money. And the second, which is expected to push what has been historically low interest rates to higher, more typical levels. So what they're saying there is when the economy is doing well, when we're making more money, the banks can charge more money when we borrow from them. The second reason is that the underlying debt will remain very large and continue to grow. The CBO projects that under current policies, public debt will reach $21 trillion, or 79% of the GDP by 2024. That would be its highest level in more than 75 years, and would leave debt at nearly double its long-term average of 40%. The thing about large and growing interest payments is that they consume tax revenue that could otherwise be spent on the country's priorities. In contrast to the rapid growth of interest spending, outlays for defense programs and domestic programs such as education, infrastructure, that means our roads and bridges, disaster relief, and law enforcement are on track to fall to their lowest levels since 1962. Barring policy changes that better align spending with incoming revenue, the debt and the interest owed on it will continue to grow faster than the economy in subsequent decades. That's a trajectory the CBO describes as unsustainable. We also notice with this article, they did a graph here for us. Let's take a look at this graph. I want to look at the parts of the graph. Along here, they put the year 2014 and 2024. This area this way is called the x-axis. And then over here, we see the y-axis. Here's where they've listed money. So 250 billion, 500, 750, 1,000 billion. So let's take a look at another graph. So can anyone tell me where the x-axis is? Across the bottom? So is it this one?
Yeah.
And where's the y-axis? Bring it on down. And what does the x-axis tell us?
Yeah.
It's the years. And the y-axis? Right. So is this graph telling us the value of Sarah's car? Is the value going up or down?
Down.
Down, right. So now we've looked at a couple of graphs. I want to make a graph of our own. We want to graph a line. One way to do it is to have 2 points. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on an x and a y axis. Which axis is the one that I just drew? That's a good idea. Y. How do we know?
This is going up and down.
Going up and down, yes. And this one's the x-axis. So if I wanted to graph a line, I'm going to use 2 points. The first point I'm going to use is right here. And that's written as 0, 0. This one is their x-coordinate, and this one is the y-coordinate. So right here, where x is 0 and y is 0, is this point. The next point I want to use is x equals -1, and y equals 3. So I'm going to go here to -1. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. Now I have this point. So to draw my line, I'm going to take my straight edge, and I'm going to connect these points, but I'm going to keep going. So anybody have any questions about this? You guys understand? Okay. Now with your partner, you have an index card and you each have graph paper. On your index card, you have 2 points. And I want you with your partner to graph a line using those 2 points the same way I did here.
Okay, so it's 2, 2. Well, then I'll do 2.
This is a positive. These are positive numbers?
Yes, all positive.
2, 2, 2, 2. And what's the second one?
2, 2 to 2, 3.
To draw a line through it?
Yeah, because I don't have anything.
Now you use your X first. So X is got it.
Everyone has their own paper, but you can share graph paper. So can I get a volunteer? Who would like to show their graph? Bear in mind that we might pick on it a little bit. So Ruthie! Ruthie's going to be brave and show us her graph. So what were your 2 points?
My 2 points were 2, 2, and 2, 3.
All right. And where's your line?
Right here.
So where's your x-axis?
This is my x-axis.
And your y-axis?
This is my y.
Okay, everybody agree? That works? All right. Wait.
I had mine backwards, but I understand my mistake.
Would you like to show show us your graph so we can see what happens when it's backwards? Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Ruthie.